Welcome back. First of all, not financial advice. Consult your licensed financial advisor. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. You don't invest anything you're not willing to lose or lose sleep over. Crypto's extremely volatile. I think a lot of people learned that this past week. Extremely risky. Endless rug pulls. A lot of scams. A lot of networks going down like Solana. And you got to be careful. Good thing we have the best crypto, right? With 100% uptime. Hex. All right, guys, I'm going to talk about, first I'll talk about the Nascar thing. Then, you know what? Some free alpha and good stuff. Because my last video, a lot of people didn't watch it. First of all, subscribe to both my YouTube channels. They keep taking people away. It's really annoying. So only 343 people watch my some free HEX alpha video. Alright, so I'm gonna give some good stuff this time, since a lot of people jump ship or they're not paying attention or whatever. Not they don't appreciate, right? But I'll give you guys who do watch me something to appreciate. And then follow me on Twitter. I've been growing lately. Good stuff. All the links are below. You just scroll down on your phone or on your computer. There's a bunch of links there. You can join the private group. You could follow me on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Unfortunately, I cannot upload videos anymore to BitChute, whatever, so I've left them. Alright, let's talk about the Nascar. Go to Motley Investors YouTube channel. He has 2.48 thousand subscribers, and we're trying to get a sponsorship for one of the cars for the Daytona 500 that's coming up. I'm not exactly sure when, but soon. And we got to raise 600K, I don't know, by next like 4 days, something like that, real soon. You would have to reach out to him, follow him, watch this video, go on his Twitter, and reach out to him if you want to do decent donation. I am pulling myself in my private group. We're pulling some funds together to try to make this happen, because this is what we have to do. And for one, it's going to be great for the documentary coming out towards the end of the year. Two, obviously it's going to get a lot of eyes, millions and millions of eyes, and it'll also give HEX, I believe, so it'd give HEX more legitimacy, like a Daytona 500 race. I believe the top 10 pledges or donors, sponsors, will be able to go, and you'll maybe go in the pits, and possibly you'll get the VIP treatment, right? And I believe you might get some screen time if you want it for the documentary coming out later this year. So that's really exciting if we could pull this off. I believe they're halfway there, maybe more by the time you watch this video. But the community has to come together. Everyone drop like a little bit, right? And if you're a big player and you really want to pump your own bags and make HEX go viral, finally, it'd be awesome if we did it right before Pulsechain mainnet launch. I mean, virality on top of Pulsechain, we're taking over. That's it. The black hole is going to suck up crypto and then the world. Nothing's going to stop us, and it could happen quick. By this time, like a year from now, everything's changed. Everyone's lives have pretty much changed, like massively. And that'd be exciting. But how cool would that be to see one of these with hex.com on there, and then Pulsechain, PulseX, or Richard's website? That would be sick. I mean, look at these camera angles. The hood would maybe be a HEX logo on the side, also HEX logo, and then, or maybe Pulsechain. I don't know. We'll see. So be a part of that. Go to Motley's Twitter, or go to his YouTube channel, and contact him if you want to put some serious dough down. I don't know if they're going to come out with a public address for all the smaller donors who want to pool for this marketing sponsorship, right? this opportunity, these opportunities only come around like, you know, once in a lifetime or something like that. But I think it would be perfect. All right, so let's talk about let's talk about crypto crash, and then I'll get into Hex and some alpha. Right. All right. Here's Bitcoin on the left, Ethereum on the right. 3-day charts, which nobody looks at, but I like to look at. They're very because no one looks at it, it's probably accurate, more accurate. Anyways, you can see my buy signals down here for my indicator. They worked out pretty well in the past. I do have a buy signal for Bitcoin. I do have a buy signal for Ethereum. You'll see right here, it worked out pretty well in the past. But here's the thing. Bitcoin is correlated to the stock market. Ethereum's correlated to Bitcoin. Most of crypto, because of the swapping and the elasticity and the pairing between the exchanges and the swapping, the parity between, you know, the trading between all these cryptos. When Bitcoin dumps, so does Ethereum, and so do all the altcoins, right? Hex does not do that as much, but when the dump is, you know, when it's pretty much like a decent dump, because Bitcoin has pretty much fallen 48 to 50% from all-time high, so is Ethereum, it could pull Hex down as well, because there is a little bit parity. Not much, but a little bit. And then there's the noobs, right, who like to panic at these times. Also, there was another factor, I believe, that had a big part in this. There was a huge whale, or a shark, in Hex. They call him D01, or D01. And he was dumping millions and millions of dollars worth of it. So, and doing incredibly dumb stuff. I mean, he sacrificed for Pulsechain, right? The bridge, the exchange, the DEX. But before he did that, get this, he market dumped. Well, he was selling in decent sized chunks, like a couple million here, a couple million there, every like 2 days, which we all appreciate that. But he could just set a limit order and not done that. But I guess he didn't have the patience. So then he dumped the price of Hex, and then he sacrificed for Pulsechain. Why didn't he just not sell it and then sacrifice the Hex? For one, it takes Hex off the market possibly forever, and then he gets a higher dollar value amount for his sacrifice, because it's based off of the value that you sacrifice in fiat, right? I don't know. Like, some people just don't pay attention. And you know, this was one of the reasons why I didn't want to stream about Hex for like the first year, because I wanted these big players out, because you don't want them around when the price is higher. Eventually we'll get the OTC markets, and you could just offload onto institutions and whatnot, right? All right, so the problem is, for the crypto market, it's correlated with the stock market. And if you guys have been paying attention for the past few videos, I've been warning that the stock market looks ready to dump this winter. I put out in the private group, and I even said, like, cryptos are going to fall with the stock market. Although I was kind of wrong, I was wrong. I thought Hex would hold up and rally before the dump, but it didn't, because of that one player. Because of that one whale. All right, here's Bitcoin, just a macro view. Looks like a McDonald's arch. It really does need to bounce and rebound now if it wants to not have a huge dump here, and possibly retest the previous high and support around 20,000, right? So the problem is, though, if the stock market opens Monday, by the time you're watching this, probably in a day, I mean, technically it opens Sunday globally, but for US watchers, all the indices are crashing through major support levels, and there isn't too much support. I mean, there is a little bit on all of them, and it's coming up on it. So it all depends. If the stock market could bounce, then Bitcoin and Ethereum will get a dead cat bounce. and then it'll probably go lower. Unless they send out stimmy checks and do more stimulus. It all depends when the Fed capitulates. People are talking like they're going to raise rates. If they raise rates, it'll be like one and done. Or if they keep raising rates, the only way they could get away with it is if they're doing stimulus at the same time and sending out massive checks to everyone, which I don't think they'll do that. They will maybe do like UBI and maybe one more stimmy check. I don't know. Maybe. But I believe I believe if they raise rates, it's one and done, or he's not even going to raise rates. They're going to capitulate. And they'll probably capitulate next month sometime, or March. It's going to be within the next 2 months, before spring. But honestly, the further the market falls and the faster, the more likely the central bank here, Jerome Powell, will capitulate. So if the market keeps just dumping and dumping, he's going to capitulate sooner. And that does tie into crypto. So I'm thinking, let's take a look at what's a good barometer, the best barometer. The Dow is not. It has to be more of the tech stocks and the more speculative stocks. This just does look bad. Let's go to a 3-day chart on the S&P 500. Yeah, I think it's gonna fall some more next week. I mean, maybe Monday it opens green, flat, maybe into Tuesday, but then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the stock market's gonna start dumping hard again. If the Fed doesn't capitulate, right? So, and then cryptos will go down with it. So the only question is, I would not risk buying this on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it might bounce a little bit for a very short period of time, like a few days or something. That's what I'm thinking right now. And then it'll probably just continue its drop or descent. Or you never know. What if the market does open red Monday and then it's going to be a bloodbath? We've seen nothing yet, right? It could be a quick drop. Like a quick drop below 30,000, all that. Like there's not much support, right? There really is no support on Bitcoin. Hold on. There's no support till around 26,000 on the 3-day chart, which is another 25% drop. That would annihilate all the altcoins and everything else. And then hopefully HEX could get some buying pressure here and decorrelate. And then we could brag on Twitter and everywhere with the heat maps, right? That's what I'm hoping for. All right, so let's take a look at HEX. I'm going to show you guys a long-term chart as well. Some chart porn. Shouldn't have said that because of the algos. I'll edit it out. So here's HEX. HEX on the daily here, it's my blue line. It's holding a support, one of my best indicators, and it really does need to bounce. So I'm really hoping Bitcoin and Ethereum do bounce for a couple days because HEX will bounce harder. And if HEX could get up to like 30 some cents and then cryptos crash another 25% or whatever, HEX might dip, but it'll hold up stronger than everything else and it'll be decorrelating, decoupling itself. So I said this in my tweet. In the past 2 years, I've noticed a pattern. If there is a sharp drop or crypto crash, noobs panic sell, and a small percent in ETH parity and swapping pools pulls HEX down temporarily, but then HEX soon after decouples, rebounds, and rallies higher, while the rest of crypto continues to crash and burn. And Gerardo had a nice chart here, and he also retweeted Richard's charts of the pools in Uniswap. So the bid pressure is 60%, while the ask is only 40%. So the ask is around 27 million and the bid is around 42 million. So there's more people looking to buy the dip than to sell. And then we had Richard right here with some good charts, good data on the pools and the Uniswap trading. So let's get back to the charts. And we could get a nice bounce, rebound. It's actually starting tonight already. And if we could get back above 20 cents again, then I believe we could easily break out or rebound and then test 32 cents resistance, which would create a nice cup and handle on the daily chart here. But this would probably take a few days, a week to play out. And hopefully, well, I hope the markets hold up, or the market, the crypto market doesn't pull down the stock market and the crypto market doesn't pull down HEX with it again. But I feel like the noobs who've been in HEX not too long have kind of got washed out these past few days, and everyone who's been here for a while, they know how HEX works, and it might fall with the rest of cryptos for that initial drop, but then it decouples and then rebounds, and then we start bragging with the heat map, right? And that would be nice, so we could get a nice cup and handle. If you zoom out, this is really just a giant bull flag on HEX. And we need to keep this trend going right here, especially with my blue line on the daily chart here. So you can see right here. And HEX is still within this large channel I drew here. It's not too great, but it touches twice within 2 years, I guess. I hate doing channels when there aren't enough all-time highs and all-time lows creating the channel, the walls of the channel. So here's a descending triangle, and I'm hoping we could bounce off my blue line, which is perfectly lining up here with the bottom of the triangle, and we could break out, all right? And then we could go higher. And my target for the rally going into Pulsechain mainnet launch soon, I think we could hit $2, because you have to remember we just had the Pulse X sacrifice for that DEX, and a lot of HEX is gone. Billions of HEX, over 2 billion HEX. I don't remember. I think it's 2.3. That's a lot. And I saw someone else's chain analysis, and it looks like the OA has 96% of the total supply. Total. So only so that leaves 4%. And then out of that 4%, 10% is stake. That does not leave a lot of liquid HEX to be sold. So it's very rare and illiquid. And that's the perfect scenario going into the launch of Pulsechain. Because remember, if you want to get 2 copies of HEX, and you don't want to miss out on the possible Magic Carpet Ride FOMO rally as soon as Pulsechain goes live for HEX, then you want to have your HEX before mainnet goes live. Now, a lot of people are thinking, well, this is buy the rumor, sell the fact. Yeah, it kind of is going into it, but I don't think it'll be sell the fact. Because if a lot of people who've been waiting like half a year or more to get their hands on Pulsechain bid up the price of Pulsechain, well, because of Hart's Law, HEX will probably go high as well, even higher maybe, because it's so illiquid. And all the OGs, right, who are OGs now in Pulsechain, might be buying some HEX because they're getting massive gains on their Pulse. And it's going to be wild. This is theoretical. So the safest and best bet so you don't miss out is to just have it now. And you might want to buy it now because the price might start rallying going into this because of the buy the rumor, right? And I think we're getting close. And man, what if we actually get one of those NASCARs wrapped and sponsored for the Daytona 500? Is it the Daytona or is it the Indy? I don't know. I don't really watch NASCAR. Anyways, so when is this going to happen? When is Pulsechain finally going to launch? Because it's been 4 weeks for like many months now. I think we're getting real close. I actually just saw Trevon on Twitter, and he was testing the bridge. I think we're getting real close. I mean, it could be a month and a half from now. So, like in March, right? And this NASCAR event, I think, is happening. I forgot. I'm sorry, guys. Next month, late next month, something like that, or soon, right? In like 4 weeks. So that'd be like the perfect combination, in my opinion.
Be fine.
Richard.
Yeah.
Samantha Roy, how you doing, man?
Doing good. How's it going?
It's going great, man. I just want to thank you. Been able to change a lot of friends' lives with Richard Hart products.
Nice, man. I'm glad to hear that.
It's been a journey with you. First time to talk to you, but love you, brother, and just keep going.
It's my pleasure.
I have a kind of a fun question regarding this narrative. There's a lot of people who drum up narratives, as you know, about what you think and what you're going to do ahead of time. But regarding the game theory on the when to launch Pulse.
As soon as it's ready.
Because you have game theory regarding everything. You have.
I think that getting out earlier is better than trying to like time a bottom or anything like that. Earlier is better. So as soon as it's ready, we do it. I'm not waiting for some price point and any other thing. I'm not doing that. Getting to market faster is better.
Perfect.
I mean, it is convenient to launch in bear markets because your price chart looks better because you launch lower and then it's easier to go higher. So for price chart bragging, it is nicer to launch during bear markets. But it's even nicer still to get to market quicker and on-ramp more users. So I would prefer to launch as soon as is safe to do so, rather than try and market time.
All right, so what I got from that is I think it's coming sooner than we think. I don't think it's going to come like within the next 3 weeks, but you never know after that because testnets are going fairly well. But the guy was asking, are you like timing the market? I don't think he is. I think he wants it sooner rather than later because, for one, people still have money in crypto. They haven't lost it all. And when these crypto crashes happen, unfortunately, what ends up happening is rug pulls take their money, exchanges take their money because they're going to scam Wickham on the margin with their margin accounts. And, other big players within other cryptos are going to end up holding or extracting the wealth. And then it'd be nice if Pulsechain was launching right now because a lot of people might not lose a lot of their hard-earned crypto savings there with this crypto crash, and then they could bring that capital over, like a capital flight, into a Pulsechain because it's new, it's cheap transactions. I was watching Crypto Coffee. It looked like 3-second transactions. The transactions cost like pennies or not even. It's like free. I mean, obviously, it's not going to stay like that. It'll slow down. The network will slow down, and the fees will go up as it gains more adoption. But I think we're good for like years, honestly. So because it's far superior to Ethereum. It is Ethereum 2.0. Like, come on. And it's proof of stake, not proof of work. So, a lot of exciting things. You guys just need to hold on. Like, it could get real cool. I believe, like, people are not going to be able to handle their sudden wealth syndrome, like, towards the end of this year. All right, so what did I want to... Oh, yeah, those huge head and shoulders as well on Bitcoin. I put that in the private group. So let's talk about this. Let's get your FOMO going. Let's say this channel does hold, and you guys need to... I still believe a lot of people do not understand how HEX works. It's going to suck in everything, because the more people stake, the more people who stake, the more walking, talking, onboarding billboards there are. And some people have more weight than others. Some people might have connections in very high places. Some people have skills in marketing. Some people have skills. We've already seen this. Everyone is connected to someone who could bring a lot of value to the Hexican ecosystem, the community. And from the beginning till now, it's been a crazy wild ride. Like the people coming into the community. On Twitter lately, shout out to Hex Orca. He's been killing it. He's been doing like these marathons, like where he keeps the Twitter space going. It's like a new feature on Twitter where people could talk to one another on Twitter. It's like a huge chat group, and he's been keeping it going for days. And a lot of check marks, blue check marks, have been going in there, and famous people. The one lady from Carol Baskin from the Tiger King was in there. That's hilarious. A lot of blue check marks, and people are coming around to HEX. There's a lot of NFL players already in HEX. It's a perfect like retirement for them. Because with football, like you never know when your time's up. When you get that injury and you're done, and I don't think they get a retirement. So it's perfect for professional athletes. And guess what? Professional athletes Millions of people watch them and follow them on social media accounts and everything, and they get I mean, they're perfect. So we've got that going on, and all of this onboarding. Richard's Twitter has been growing about 1,000 people a day. His Twitter account. It's at 100. It's over 170,000 right now. I remember like 4 months ago, it was below like 80,000, something like that. In the midsummer, I think it was only around like 50 or 40,000. That's how fast it's been growing. That's how fast the Hexagon community is growing. And you have to understand, there is a time delay from when you buy Hex to when you actually have the confidence in it to stake it and then start staking it longer and longer. And then once you've staked it out and you see your account growing in value, then you get excited. You're like, oh my God, look at this. I checked it like a few months ago. The price went up. And look at it, and all these emergency end stake bonuses add up over a long period of time. That's why it's like 40% plus. I always put the plus there because these emergency end stakes are adding up over time. I can see it because I'm staked like 99% of the time, and I'm staked like 99%. Not always. Sometimes I have liquid, right? Especially for these sacrifices, I just have liquid for that because I saw them coming up for Pulsechain and Pulsechain. But these people, once they see the mad gains in their staked accounts, they're going to go tell everyone. And then it just keeps duplicating and duplicating. It's literally like a black hole sucking in the universe. I'm not even joking. And this will never end. This may never end in our lifetimes. So when we say $10, $30, $100, $1,000 per hex, it's no joke. It's really not. Because the power of word of mouth and marketing. I mean, guys, we only have. So this is my FOMO chart. Look at this. We stay within this channel. By May, we're looking at like $2. Let's say towards the end of the year, we're looking at $10, maybe 15, something like that. I mean, this is not. Don't take this as advice, investment advice. It may not do any of this. This is my like hypothetical kind of guessing. I don't know. If we stay in this channel here and we keep onboarding the community and we do everything right and we gain virality, then I believe it could look something like this. Of course, it's not going to look like this. I don't really know what it's going to look like. Nobody does. I'm just saying I'm kind of like having fun here and just giving like a hypothetical what it might kind of end up looking like if we get virality. And a lot of things could bring the virality. We bring the virality on Twitter Spaces. We bring the virality with stickers at gas stations. We bring the virality with sponsoring NASCAR. We bring the virality with Pulsechain because everyone's getting annihilated. All the NFT bros and all the ERC20 projects are getting annihilated with these gas fees and then, slow transactions. It's just unworkable. That should bring virality. Sky's the limit. It really is. Like, Bitcoin did what? It did like a 6.5 or 6 million X, right? An X. That's 100%. It's a doubling. It did 6 million of those. Hex did 10,000 X. So why can't we do 1 million, right? Especially since it's more superior with the yield generating or the rewards generating to outpace inflation, because I don't think inflation is going anywhere anytime soon because they have to. And this is global, by the way, right? And the Hex community is global. That's what's even sweeter about it. It's global quicker than Bitcoin and Ethereum was because of the technology of today and the outreach in the community. And and not just that. I mean, Bitcoin's founder disappeared. Ethereum's founder, I don't think he's cooler than Richard. I mean, come on. I know Richard's polarizing, but at the end of the day, you have to put that aside. The guy's smart. He's brilliant. All right. Let's take a look at this as well. So I'm going to give you guys a little hypothetical what may happen with the staking class, a little alpha maybe, but I could be wrong, right? So someone called this on Twitter some sort of wave, or it. Most of the stakes are in the present or in the very near future, and that scares people. It shouldn't scare you. It's whales. They're always rolling the stakes over, and they're living off of the interest, and that's how to do it for generational wealth, and to be like literally retired the rest of your life, right? So they maybe stake out every 6 months or something like that, or every 4 months, or every year, right? And then when the stake comes due, they cash out the interest. They live off of that like a king, and then take the rest and roll it over another 6 months or another year. Or maybe they take chunks of it and then roll it out even further on the timeline. And the max you could do is 15 years, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So don't worry about that. That's what that is, right? And a lot of it is probably the OA itself, right? Giving us that high yield. The contract giving us that high yield. All right, so the basic here is to possibly stake where a lot of stakes are not coming due, because that means less liquid is going to come onto the market during those dates or and around that time, right? Like if you look over here at 2033, it's practically like not a lot of stakes coming due compared to the rest of the timeline, right? Now, of course, as time goes on, a lot of this liquid hex that that becomes liquid will start moving forward in time and filling these gaps, I believe, which is really bullish for the price. Because again, everything is designed to pull liquid hex off of the market, making it more illiquid, more rare, which equals price to the right and up and to the right, right? But I believe a lot of people haven't thought about this. But what if the price really does go really high, really faster than anyone really anticipated? Because once virality picks up, which I call escape velocity, what ends up happening is we might start seeing prices we never thought, and it might happen so quickly, and maybe some people want to realize their stakes sooner rather than later because they've never seen so much money in their lives, right? And they're not going to be able to handle themselves. They're just not going to be able to take it. They're going to emergency end stake. And you could emergency end stake like 75%, something like that, into your into the time duration that you've staked, right? So these people, this huge chunk of stakes right around the 2030 mark, well, like around 2027 and 2028, around this time, I mean, they could emergency end stake without cutting into their principal that they initially stake. Now they'll lose all of their yield, all of their HEX rewards that they've accumulated, but they will not lose their principal. And I believe a lot of people are not going to be able to hold off till then, and you're going to see a lot of emergency end stakes coming due around this time. And what I'm trying to tell you guys, if you guys want to strategize that, if you place a stake after that time, like in between here, you're going to get all of these emergency end stakes from this group. And you're going to get all of them all the way up until then. Yes, that is looking really further out into the future, like around 2029 and 2028, right? But, I kind of looked at that early on, and I thought to myself, so I put this in a video for the private group like a long time ago. So that's something to think about. Well, you know what's funny? The same thing could be said. I wasn't drawing when I was saying this. Here, I'll draw. These guys are going to be emergency end staking around this time because their principal won't get hit, but all of their interest will get nuked. And then it'll be distributed to the rest of the staking class, right? For the new people listening. And you'll get huge bonuses around this time. Who knows what the daily payout will be? Oh, by the way, daily payout has bumped up over 6 HEX per day, which really does add up over time. Because people for some reason can't fathom that every hex they get today will be worth maybe 10x, 100x tomorrow, like into the future. And they just don't get it. Like, I posted this one tweet. I was like, man, if you only have, I don't know, like 100 T shares, something like that, you're making like $75,000 a year. And that could replace your job easily and you could live comfortably. And people are like, oh my God, nobody has that much T shares. Huh? Yeah, but we need like $2 million to get that. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you just wait a little longer? Because if Hex is at $10, then maybe you only need 5 T shares to get something like that, right? Like, they're not thinking. They don't understand. This is a new invention, and it is hard for people to grasp. Only people who've been staked out for a while understand how this works and how amazing it is and how addicting it is to keep staking. Like, you just don't want to, like, sell because you're watching your balance just grow and grow and grow. It's crazy. Anyways, so these noobs need to understand that you're not taking into account the price appreciation. You will need less T shares or less shares as the price goes higher to get to that to get to that level where you literally are making more in a year sitting on your ass than working 9 to 5 or working one full-time job or 2 part-time jobs, right? And it's possible. Like, I know people. I'm pretty much, I'm telling you guys, this is possible. You guys need to look at it differently. All right, so let me move over here. All right, so same goes with over here, right? These guys could start emergency end staking around like 2031, 32, 33, 34, maybe even, without this chunk over here, without cutting into their principal and only losing in penalties their rewards, their yield that they've generated. And by then, I mean, by 2032 and 3, like, it might be worth so much that people don't care, and they'll do that. So your stakes that are over here, like in 2033 and 34, 30, 35, actually that's all over here, right? 20, 33, 34, and 35. These guys are going to see massive bonuses from emergency end state. And I'm 40% all the way out here. And the sooner you put out a stake towards the very end, 15 years, and I'm not saying put a lot out there, just a little, like, you never know, like putting $100 15 years out could be like, who knows, a house, I don't know. But the sooner you do that, the better, because the T-share rate, where's that chart? T-share rate chart. Oh, here it is. By the way, this is look into hex.com by Gerardo. Did a fantastic job. Awesome tools. Awesome. So what chart looks even better than Hex itself is the T-share rate, or the share rate. I'm just going to say share rate. No more T's anymore. It's only going up, which is forcing the big players in the system to keep staking out further and further. It's forcing everyone to keep staking out further and further once their stakes come due, so they don't sell, and then because you're not gonna be able to generate the same yield or rewards in Hex, right? So you would want to, when you strategize and you create your staking ladder, you want to what you want to do is start at the end, start with your 15-year first, because day after day because when you stake a 15-year, you get more yield instantly than when you stake your sooner, right? Because you have more shares the further you put it out, and the larger, right? So what I did is I created maybe it's staggered, large stakes that come due, right? And then I have small ones in between them to hold me over and to pay, the tax man. And then that's how I did it. And then strategically placing, some in like areas like here and here to catch the emergency end stakes from these clusters over here and here. So you want to start out far and then work your way back as you dollar cost average into HEX, accumulate, and then stake out. Not financial advice. You do your own research and you figure it out for yourself. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing. All right, here's the T-share price. T-share price right now, one T-share is $4,000. Started out like, I don't know, 50 or something. All right, so, and that's like the equivalent to like mining Bitcoins, right? Except we're not polluting the environment. So here's a return on investment or price performance, percentage gains versus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you can see the percentage gains, right? Or what is this? Yeah, ROI. You can see the purple here, that's HEX. It's outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum its first 2 years. And why would this trend change? Trends are trends for a reason. And HEX is very early, pre-viral. So I'm expecting a spike up like Bitcoin had, right? Its first virality phase. There's many virality phases. We're going to see many. And I don't think we've hit the first major one. We've hit maybe a small one within the crypto ecosystem, but we haven't hit like a major virality event. And hopefully doing stuff like sponsoring a NASCAR might do it, you know? It's something like that that's got to trigger it eventually. And then the Pulsechain as well. So ROI since HEX launch versus Ethereum and Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the blue line, green is Ethereum. You guys can see on my screen. I mean, HEX has massively outperformed them. Here's the daily payout per T-share. Again, go look into hex.com and look at it for yourself and donate to that Ethereum wallet address at the bottom. Like, you know, throw them a bone for making all this for free. Because assholes like me charge, right? These spikes are obviously when big players get hacked, like the one old guy. And then those previous events like Big Payday. So what else did I want to show you guys? Here's what I believe matters the most. So this is the adoption since launch. So the green is Ethereum, and I believe it's based off of wallets with Ethereum in them, right? Real users. So Ethereum holders, there's 165 million. And then this blue line right here is HEX total holders. We're looking at 410,000 wallets. HEX current holders are in history, right? HEX current holders is only 276,000 wallets. And honestly, there's like a lot of like wallets with a tiny amount in them. They don't count. So you could deduct, I would deduct like 100,000 or something. A large amount. Half. What is this? What color is that? Dark purple is HEX total stakers. There's only 95,000 in history. And then HEX current stakers only 75,000. So guys, where do you think the price is going to be at like 250,000 stakers? Because the more stakers, it's like a multiple effect on the price. So if the stakers double, the price doesn't double. I think it 10x's, if not more. Probably more, who knows. So I mean, is 1 million stakers in HEX possible? Absolutely. Do you know how much HEX would be liquid for sale on the market? It would be a lot less. A hell of a lot less. Like, who knows? And where would the price be because of this? I don't know. It'd be really high. Like, we're set, man, for the rest of our lives and our kids' lives and grandkids. So this is another thing to watch. HEX holders per day. Very volatile. But this will probably become less volatile with time, and it'll start trending higher and higher. This is a good chart to look at for virality moments. When you see a lot of wallets being made per day, like this starts spiking up, actually. That's when virality really kicks off. new HEX stakers per day. This is what I really meant, that this will it'll start going up and to the right. It already is. You can see this trend forming now. But this will become kind of like the price chart, right? You'll see more HEX stakers per day. It's still very early days. So, all right, guys, what else did I want to show you guys? So, circulating HEX is around 577 billion. Total HEX is 637 billion. Sounds like a lot, but again, the inflation rate year after year is less than Bitcoin and gold. It's 3%, 3.69%. Unique stakes. HEX penalties paid out to stakers is almost 4 billion HEX. That's what I'm saying. It adds up when you're staked. And you get more of the bonus daily payouts the more shares you have, and the more shares you have are dependent on how far did you stake out within the ecosystem, within the smart contract, right? All right, guys. I think that's good for today. Let me end this with my moon chart, and if virality picks up, right? And we do our part, everyone does a little bit, chip in, maybe we could get a Nascar right before Pulsechain mainnet launch. That'd be a viral event, which could, why not? Why can't it shoot the price to $2 or higher? I don't know. Especially with all the liquid HEX taken off the market after Pulsechain's sacrifice, right? Feel like I'm missing out on something that I had for you guys. That's about it. Follow me everywhere. And,
you could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. Now leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.